Hello everyone, Leiki here, welcome to Trench Talk. In this episode I got to meet with the rules machine himself, Tuomas Pirinen, to talk about the upcoming Kickstarter En Garde, which is John Blanche's dream game. There isn't much info about this game out, so I figured I just asked him myself. The miniatures, the lore, is there a campaign, what's going on? And if you stick around to the end, we got some bonus questions in regarding Trench Crusade and Chaos Dwarfs. Because for those who didn't know, Thomas wrote some Chaos Dwarf rules in 6th edition, but they were never released. So some fun information about his thoughts on those. And yeah, hope you like it. Subscribe and comment if you do. Helps me out, which helps me out. I'm sorry about the video. Sometimes the video from OBS cut off, and nothing I can do about that. But you can listen to it as a podcast instead of watching our beautiful faces. Hello everybody, welcome to Trench Talk. I'm Leiki, and today we have the rules writer himself, Tuomas Pirinen, come to talk about rules, but not Trench Crusade rules. First things first, how are you doing?
I mean, it's crazy busy, but it's a good busy. So I think we've crossed over 80% of the Trench Crusade physical fulfillment today. We're a little bit behind schedule, but the end is at sight. It's the beast orders are going out, so hopefully everybody has their miniatures soon, and I can't wait to then the show you everything else we've been working on while the delivery is going on. It's been crazy time because, for example, just the bubble wrap for the miniatures in the main factory, it goes from the floor. It's all the way to the ceiling of the 6th floor. That's how much just bubble wrap there is to get everybody's miniatures.
I saw the picture of it. It looked amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe I can put it in the video as well.
Who knows? Yeah, it'll be fun. But yeah, it's so busy but good.
You're busy but good. Yeah, I heard that you took the first day off in several years.
Yeah, it's because remember, while I was working on Trench Crusade, I was a senior design manager for PlayStation all the time. So I was doing 2 full-time jobs simultaneously for a couple of years. And those who work for video games industry know that the hours are not short in that industry either. So it was quite tough. But in the end, it's been worth it. And I guess that if you want to do your own thing, and you are not independently rich, then that's the only way you're going to get it done.
Yeah, for sure. Well deserved rest.
A whole day.
How was it?
I just chilled. It's the recharge batteries because Nova Open is next week, so there's a big trip, and then we are going to be rolling into the Spielessen, which had 204,000 attendees last year. 204,000. That is a mind-boggling number.
Bigger than Tropicon even.
20 or well over 20 times bigger. So absolutely insane. And we have some really, 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 really big news because we'll be finally then obviously it's be able to talk about new things.
Can't wait. But today we're going to dive into the En Garde, your upcoming Kickstarter project. And from what I know, it is a miniature fencing game in Inquisitor scale, featuring entirely hand-sculpted models, inspired by John Blanche.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. So the John, as you know, after he retired from Games Workshop, he's been extremely busy bee, and he's always been tremendously prolific artist. So he's been generating stuff for the new Rat Spike, his own game worlds, doing illustrations for Trench Crusade, all sorts of things. But there is a game that he's always wanted to make, because he loves the history of dueling and he loves fantasy. So he developed the group of semi-historical, semi-fantasy duelists in this sort of a alternate reality version of Venice, where where they are dueling, where the dueling is legal, it's commonplace, and you take a control of one of those duelists. He wanted to do it in his favorite scale, 54 mil, and the which is of course mad, because of course all the money in the miniature games industry is in the 32 mil scale. But then John's never ever been motivated by money. So of course I said that when he asked that could I handle the rules, then I said that of course I will. It'll be really interesting challenge. So that's my other project that I've been working on with my spare time, such as it is late at night.
The En Garde, but would you describe it as a board game or as a miniatures war game?
I would say it's a hybrid game. Now, the classic problem you've always had with dueling miniatures game and dueling board games is that in the end what happens is two things are standing next to each other, and basically you roll dice or draw cards, and they sort of see who is luckiest, who rolls both pixies, or whatever it is. So I wanted to resolve that problem where the maneuvering, getting the around the opponent, is the planning a long-term attacks, doing stuff like if you lose a weapon, you draw the spare weapon. It's what happens when your adrenaline starts pumping. It's having a really, really dynamic dueling system where the positioning of the miniatures, both in regards to each other and the environment, really matters, while still making it extremely accessible and easy to use. So I would call it a hybrid game, because I wanted to I didn't want to add measuring into the game. So there is think a little bit like Blood Bowl, that there are bespoken squares that they determine your movement, but you still have the freedom of the moving around the field, and then the changing your tactics, your attacks, your weapons is where it's modified by luck, and where you really try to build a long-term strategy how to win, rather than just, okay, new turn comes, I roll dice and see if I win.
All right. Yeah, because we discussed amongst the playing group what the kind of rules this would be. Somebody guessed it would be more like X-Wing, where it's hidden what kind of move you make, and you will have to outmaneuver your enemies. But in my imagination, it would be like a circular board with different. You could go into the center of the circle, or you can back, or you can go adjacent, and you would try to maneuver somehow.
Yep. So you're much closer. The basic idea here is that the representing your creativeness, the opportunities, your energy at any given time when it's your time to act, is you generate a dice pool. So depending on both the fighter you have, the weapons you have, and the potential of the varying abilities, because the obviously you will have a rush of adrenaline or the wounds or whatnot that can affect this. You generate a pool, and those numbers then can be assigned to different abilities that vary from moment to moment. So and you also have different abilities to manipulate those dice. So you could start with that you are faced with your opponent, and then you do a backstep. Now your opponent might play a sort of a pursue move, or a lunge, trying to stop you from retreating. Like, let's say you're successful, then you use some of this energy, you draw your pistol, you shoot them. Or there is behind you there is a box, you jump on it, then you've rolled the suitable dice that you have like a rush of energy, and you backflip over your opponent and stab them in the back. You could have ripostes. So there are two things that vary from round to round. You have a lot of control over it, but not total. What kind of a stance you assume, what kind of weapons you draw, and what kind of attacks you do. And then you allocate your energy pool. Now, obviously, it would seem sensible that, I'm just going to have my most powerful attack stance and my most powerful attack, so I'm going to kill the other guy really quickly. But the problem there is that it is unlikely you will have the kind of energy dice, because you'd need to roll like lots of all sixes to pull that kind of attack off. So it is usually, that's a big gamble. So it's usually better that you try to build every turn your how you approach the current situation in combat, that you can use all sorts of attacks, defenses, because if you're just counting on rolling high every turn, you're probably going to lose score unless you're the luckiest person in the world. And there is also a lot of foils to those. So let's say that your opponent goes for a really big attack, and then you've been saving your counter move just for that. So the other guy wastes all their energy dice, their power dice. It's on this big attack, but they put everything on one card, and then they fail. That then gives an opening. The other guy, you spend all your energy that turn. They get to attack you, and you have no defenses up. So it becomes this game of positioning and the what kind of a stance you take, what kind of attacks, what kind of defenses you have, what kind of counters you have, and then using your available energy sensibly.
So could I, if I understand you correctly, like turn 1, I could spend all my energy into one heavy attack. And if that fails, my opponent has plenty of opportunity to use his or her energy to make multiple different actions.
Yeah. They could then use their movement, the energy for the movement to get behind you, get their backstab card, which allows you to play lots of low dice numbers to stab you repeatedly. And because they have a backstabbing stance up, they do extra damage. So in fact, even though you rolled better, but you wasted them all in one big attack, you'd gambled everything on one card. This allows them to like inflict a lot of chip damage, and in the end damage you more potentially. And if you didn't use any like dodgy, you didn't save any of your power to dodges or parries or ripostes, then you are basically defenseless. So it plays then that you come with this huge axe or sword strike that misses the other guy maneuvers behind you, and they repeatedly gets his daggers out and they stabs you many times in the back. Again, it can be very cool that you do this massive axe strike. But there is another mechanic that sort of discourages you just trying the biggest attack every time, which is the desperation. So once you've depleted the hit points of your opponent, the last 3 hit points, which then if you lose them all, you lose it, you are killed or wounded or can't continue. It doesn't matter how much damage you do, you only take one of those off each time. This stops the game just being where both people just try to do the biggest possible attack.
So no one shot turn 1.
Exactly, and not so you the fastest you could kill somebody is 4 turns. But depleting, like the typical fighter has 18 to 22 hit points. Depleting 18 hit points in 1 turn is really difficult. It's almost impossible. There is, however, a couple of attacks called the killing blows that even when you are the desperation state, it's they will kill you with 1 hit. But they are not that powerful when you are doing well, because these are like the stuff that when you are lying on the ground, you finish them. They are not very good when the other guy is still on their feet and the feeling good. So this becomes this kind of a push and pull, and the game offers a great deal of variety on how you approach each fight. And of course, each duelist is very different.
Yeah, so if I understand it correctly, it is a board. You get a board with grids.
Yeah.
In which, and you can have you have cards. Everybody has the same cards.
No, there are shared cards. Like everybody can move around, everybody can parry, everybody can dodge, everybody can do fist strikes, whatever. But then there are cards that, depending on the fighter and weapons you pick, it's those are unique to you. And of course, since you can modify your miniatures, your card selection may change, and of course you can change fighters. So if you have a vampiric duelist, they would obviously have hypnotic gaze, and when there's a big attack, they can turn to mist to avoid it. These are of course very expensive attacks and very difficult to pull off, and they have downsides. While if you are like a rapier duelist, you have a lot of lunges, the strikes, but you're not very good at parrying because your weapon is very whippy, but you're also very fast and maneuverable. You have your big brutes, you have your pirate captains, that when they get wounded, they can drink grog, so they can withstand more pain, and so on and so forth.
Speaking of different variations, like fencing, in history has many different varieties. You can fight dirty and you can fight noble. Are all of those represented in?
Yes, they are very much. We wanted each of the duelists because the John Blanche's artwork is so evocative. Each one of those are sort of represented in the character of the duelist. So you have this noble that plays fair and is very skilled duelist, but doesn't demean themselves with dirty tricks. And then you have like a pirate. It's the who is willing to play every dirty trick there is in the book, but maybe isn't that skilled in a pure fencing. And then you have some of these marvelous supernatural creatures. It's like a vampires who are actually in the lore of this game. They are the good guys. They are the guardians of the city, who have a special powers. And you have these sort of a Lovecraftian creatures from the sea that also come to the land, and the duelist engage them in battle. You can play one of them. So this gives you a very, very different fighting styles and allows you to really customize your miniature that represents your duelist.
Right. So how many different units or models will there be?
There will be, this will a little bit depend on the reception. I believe that my partners are planning to first release 6 duelists, and we'll see what the reception is. But the game itself is open-ended, of course, because it's been designed such a way that there is no reason fundamentally that you couldn't use any card with any character. Obviously, if you have a normal human, them turning into mist doesn't really work. That's why they're vampire only. But you can add new fighters and new generic cards. It's that allow you to use different abilities as you go along. If the reception is good, if people like the models, if people like the game, then we would like to use more of the John's models. So and more news on this later. We are still figuring this all out. Of course, there is obviously a question of the finding the right sculptors, because of course John Blanche is very particular about the miniatures. So we want him to be super happy. So that does mean that we have to find sculptors that can meet the standards that he has for sculpting.
Can you tell me already some of the sculptors you've used, or is it?
Yeah. I think we posted there, and now I need to, so I don't get the Paul Hicks and Patrick Masson are the sculptures we've already announced. Now, for the fans of miniature games, they should be very familiar. Both of them are extremely well-established sculptors. And what we found, of course, is that so many sculptures started their careers because of John Blanche. So a lot of them jumped to the opportunity to contribute towards this game. And since John likes a very artisanal approach, we've also used a lot of the traditional sculptures. Nothing against digital sculptures, I love it, but quite a few of these are done by traditional sculptors to sort of a little bit of how would I say, it's a celebration of the skills of sculpting.
Yeah, I like the idea a lot that it is hand sculpted, and especially when it is the larger scale of it. It will be something unique. I can't imagine a world where this game isn't a success.
Well, but let's hope so, because our main sort of motivation here is, as you know, John. I mean, few people would even retire at 75, but John would have wanted to carry on even on his original job. But obviously, he's had his challenges about his health, which he's been very open about. So part of the reason of doing this game is that it will hopefully provide a bit of extra comfort to John in his older days and his family. Obviously, a game has to be a good game. It's not charity. It is a game that hopefully is so good that it will also, how would I say, ease John's life in now that his health isn't as good as it used to be.
Yeah, and as I said, I'm 100% sure it will be a huge success. But I'm thinking about you wrote the rules. We know who made the models. I'm hoping Trish will be one of them, but we'll see later, I guess.
No comment.
No comment. About the story and the lore about it all, who's responsible for writing that?
It's sort of a combined effort. John is a very visual artist, but there was this kernel of idea of why we wanted sort of this fantasy version of Venice. It's because you can have these amazing places where the duels take place, which will hopefully encourage hobbyists to build the alleyways and the plazas and the like. We want a hand of a statue where you are dueling. We know there is a sunken colossus at the a bit like in the roads. It's in the front of the city, and it is in this sort of a fantasy version of Venice. It's a center of commerce, trade, and where people from all over the world come to trade their wares. And the law of the land is that you resolve your differences with duels that are highly regulated. But it's sort of a combined effort of the John, myself, and Ronan and Nigel that are working with me on the production side.
Okay, but you spoke about hobbyists. Does this mean that you can make your own 3D terrain to play on instead of the board?
Absolutely. I mean, the board is there really that the people can get to play as quickly as possible. Like, I have no issue with it. If somebody just wants to play this board game, you don't even paint your miniatures. You just plonk them down and start playing and use our board that we provide. But the rules are made so that for example, we have all this, like if there's a chandelier with some cards, you can use them to jump extra distance, or you can go to the barrel and they do a backflip over your opponent and whatnot. It's if somebody wants to make all that in 3D, and we'll probably see if some company wants to work with us to provide these scenery pieces. Of course, it will be richer and more fun if everything represented is in 3D. But here it is more of a question that we want it to be as easy to get in, but then if you are a great modeler and painter and you are inspired about creating this scene of a fantastic Baroque or Renaissance looking back alley where the duel takes place, or the hand of the statue, or the piazza in the city, then that would be great. I think this awesome, and if I know my hobbyists, they will come up with all sorts of crazy conversions.
Yeah, very good to hear that the rules are so that you can use your imagination and not stuck to the Hero Quest board, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, that's never. And the rules are, we will provide a board, but the rules have been written so that you could have a small area, large area, narrow alleyway, a place where you can fall off. Like, there is no reason. It's why we should you should limit your games because of the board, because the rules are quite open-ended and flexible in that sense. It is not meant to be like a chess where if you took one square away from chess, the game is ruined, because it's meant to be a competitive game. But this kind of game where there is element of luck, skill, and it's also an immersive story. There is much more room for it. Let me quickly move to another room. Okay, all right, let's carry on.
Next question is about, are you building a campaign or ongoing storytelling component into the game?
Yes, there will be a campaign system, a bit more like Blood Bowl, like not as deep as, say, Mordheim or Trench Crusade. Something that will allow you to play a ladder tournament or campaign and craft a little bit of story. But we do want this to be something that when you have a half an hour, you can just get the board, 2 miniatures out, and your dice and cards and play. Or if you are into hobbying, you can then start playing along the campaign. You build your terrain. You really want to create this atmosphere. But I'm also thinking this would be something that you finished a bigger game like Trench Crusade, and then you have, we don't have time for another Trench Crusade game, but we have half an hour, so let's do a little duel.
Nice.
And I'm also a lot of my friends who are into RPGs have a game systems. It's that they are not completely happy with. So one of the things a lot of people have asked me that this kind of a deeper dueling system without like being an army or squad size game they would really like to do this in their RPGs to resolve combat. Because a lot of people, not everybody wants to do theater of mind, not everybody likes doing a existing RPG combat mechanics. A lot of people would like to have maybe something that is a cross between miniature game and the RPG. So this could offer people who like that an opportunity. But the idea is that you can very quickly get your board out, put your miniatures, the shuffle your decks, roll your dice, and start playing like in a couple of minutes.
So if it's like an add-on to role-playing games, you could make your own characters also. You don't have to use the 6.
Yeah, no, I would imagine we are going to see a lot of people coming up with their own duelists, and we obviously hugely encourage and welcome that.
Good to hear. Well, what kind of? I imagine you have done some playtesting, and
yes.
What's the feedback you have gotten so far?
I mean, it's been overwhelmingly positive because I think a lot of people who like miniature games and board games always have this idea that they'd like a dueling game, and there's been several in the market. But the problem really has been what we started this discussion with is that you basically, what do you need the miniatures for? Of course, the two guys are just standing in front of each other, and then you roll off who wins. So every game's been very tight, very closely fought. There's been a lot of backwards and forwards. There's been a lot of swings. What people really like is the desperate status that it's very hard for one guy to find a way to just spam an attack, because also you don't always have the same energy pool, and you can't just swing with big attacks. It's because then once the other guy's in desperate state, those become much less effective because it costs a lot to launch each of those attacks. So you need to usually have a very balanced set of stances, attacks, weapons, abilities in order to pull off victory. And people really like that. And no two game has really been the same. And usually it's both players have said in the end, if I did this differently, I would have won. It's the vice versa. So this is always a good sign. And we are obviously going to do plenty of open play testing as well. And they gather feedback and do balancing, but I have a very, very good feeling about the rules.
So when can we expect the open? I imagine you do the open playtesting before the Kickstarter releases, right?
Well, it depends how we were still looking at that. Do we start with miniatures? Because as you remember, with French Crusade,
yes.
We tested the interest first with the releasing a few miniatures in Kickstarter, see does anybody care? And maybe we'll do the same thing. If it's just miniatures, it's then you don't need rules. But maybe we'll do some sort of the open playtesting rules at first. We haven't locked that down yet. That's more to my friends in production side that which their way they want to proceed. I'm a game designer, so I said I don't care. I want to focus on the rules and the lore. Use us out how you want to run the campaign.
All right. So, but it's not planned to be released this year.
No, it's I think that you will see something this year, but I don't think we will have a full game this year. It's having said that, things happen. It's still, but I think especially now that there is a lot of things happening with the global trade, it's not that simple to pull all the strings together very quickly. So we shall see what's the timeline. I will let you know as soon as I know.
Yep, sounds good. So it also sounds that it's very open-ended. If there could be expansions to this.
Oh yes.
In the future.
Yeah. I mean, new duelists, new different boards, different rules for underwater dueling. If both of your fighters have wings, I mean, I'm just making this up. Going into the different city, rules for winters. It's maybe it's the fighting on sand, whatever. You could have. Of course, having a one-on-one fights is interesting. Maybe we could come up with a multiplayer rule. What does it look like if there are? It's all this is entirely possible if the game has good reception.
Yeah, Yeah, that's a good point though with the multiplayer rule. It would be very interesting to play 2 versus 2. But you can't as it is right now then.
Not right now.
No.
And I would like to do that properly, like you would really then want to do combo moves where you have synergy with what your partner is doing. So you could pull the amazing moves where the one guy trips your opponent and then you stab them when they go down. It's but that would be something that you need to design properly and carefully.
Well, I think this was more thought out and planned than I imagined it would be. So I'm very much looking forward to trying it out.
Yep. I'll try to get you into the earliest possible playtest to see what you and the friends think.
Sounds great. So I have some bonus questions, not regarding En Garde. But is there something that we must tell the public before we move on about En Garde? Have I missed something?
Not really. I would say it's if you've been really heavily into 32 mil, I mean we are using 54 mil because it's the favorite scale of John Blanche's. However, don't let that stand in your way. If you really want to play it with 32 mil miniatures, or I don't care, 75 mil miniatures, we are not going to come and stop you. So please don't get hung up on anything like that. But we picked this scale to pay homage to the contribution John has given to our industry, which quite frankly it's hard to think anybody who's done more for the games hobby than John. Is so we want it to be his dream game.
That's beautiful.
Okay, hit me with your bonus questions.
Okay, speaking of beautiful, these are bonus questions from the Davisar community, the Chaos Dwarfs Online, which are big fans of you.
Excellent.
First of all, what did you think about the Hellsmiths of Hashut?
Again, I had a very soft spot to the old look of the Chaos Dwarfs. It's I think that something about their sort of how would I say, the balance between a riotously funny and yet in many ways the worst the nation in the Warhammer lore. It's very hard for me to see Chaos Dwarfs as anything else except what was originally established. It's to me, I mean, miniatures are like any artistic expression, a matter of taste. So maybe they are not my thing, but if you like them, is no judgment.
Neutral answer then.
Maybe. I mean, it's if I would pick because I wrote rules for Chaos Dwarfs, which in the end didn't come out, but I did write them. I would collect the old school Chaos Dwarfs myself, but I would have no issue if somebody else collects something else.
Yep. Good answer. And they also want to hear your take on, maybe you know the answer, what is the origin of Hashut?
Almost certainly it's Jervis Johnson's fascination with the Assyrian and Babylonian culture. It's important to remember at that point in Games Workshop Design Studio is several of the people were actually trained archaeologists, and the people like Andy Chambers is a published historian of the Second World War. The Perry twins probably have a understanding of historical warfare greater than almost any professor of the field in the world. So history had a very strong influence at that point at the Games Workshop studio. But hey, Jervis works for me and he wrote the original the Chaos Dwarfs, so I'll ask him. He works for me now.
Yeah, ask him, but please do and come back to me.
But do that.
So the origins come from the Babylonian.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
I'll ask this. Maybe there is some inside joke, because there was a lot of those in the old design studio. There was a lot of fun to be had.
I'd love to hear it. So moving on from the Chaos Dwarfs, we're ending with the Trench Crusade, of course. This is Trench Talk. So, what are your thoughts about the Door Knockers and Space Truckers community?
Can you give me some details? I mean, I'm embarrassed to say I don't make an immediate mental connection. What are we talking?
The people that spend time on the Discord still figuring out how to open the door on the website.
Oh, because this is the funny thing. I mean, we are working on the rewarding these people. It was meant to be something quite lighthearted and fun. But I can tell you this much: it's the whatever will be revealed will have something to do with the Church of Metamorphosis. So the some people's guesses were somewhat right, but what it is we will see in a time. Honestly, the only reason why we haven't provided the interiors yet is the fact that we wanted to put every single hour we've got into speeding up the delivery of the Kickstarter and the book to the backers as quickly as possible. We thought that giving priority to anything else besides that, it's for the core team would be wrong. It's and luckily we are very close now to the end of the road. But I think that nobody was quite prepared how popular and successful French Crusade would be. I struggle to think of another indie game that had to deliver quite so much product in such a short period of time. So I think we haven't done too badly. I do apologize for the delays, but hopefully in the grand scheme of things, they will be just minor speed bumps.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, you said, like, how many miniatures did the Only Games print? Was it hundreds of thousands?
1.6 to 1.7 million.
1.6 million models on a resin printer.
Yeah.
That I cannot comprehend how that works.
And they also, as you know, we had the biggest heat wave in history. So that did a number on a lot of the printers as well. So there was a lot of challenges and just ramping up because they've never done anything as big. So finding people to do the packaging, printing, we bought because of course the models have to be of even quality. Is buying literally every printer of the right type on the market. It's like causing a worldwide shortage of that model. There's all sorts of challenges that we don't really want to sort of come to public and whinge. These are our problems. We need to solve them for our backers. But I'd still say we've been going light speed if you consider your average Kickstarter, not throwing shade at anybody else, but still, if you consider the numbers of the backers and the miniatures, and the timeline, it's all in all, it's some scars and scratches, but we are very close to the finish line now.
Yeah, like I know people want their things, but I backed a lot of Kickstarters where I got nothing. So like the second I saw that people got something, I knew like if I just wait long enough, I will get it.
Yeah.
And that.
Yeah. And again, I do want to say that the 80% of the backers already got their stuff. So it's not like we are just starting to deliver them. So so we are not, how would I say? I am very sad that 20% haven't got theirs yet. I am happy that the 80% have.
Yeah. And so last question. I think I know the answer to this, but can you tell us anything at all that we don't know about Trench Crusade and its future?
Well, obviously, we are going to Nova Open next week. It's I have a keynote speech there. Stay tuned for that. And then in the October is Essen Spiel. And at that point, the Kickstarter's miniature side would be far, far behind us. So there will be some very, very big reveals there. But the something that I could reveal that you don't know yet. There is. I'm trying. I mean, obviously, we've been working on an incredible number of stuff for the future, but of course, we want to leave a lot of surprises for the Nova Open. Let's put it this way: we have an actual, genuine Trappist monk helping us out with the rule book to get certain things on Latin and theology side right. So we are really like going all out into trying to get the authenticity of the book to the highest possible level. So look forward to his contribution. It's gonna be wild when people see it.
So it's when the book is out then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah. The book is a behemoth. Since we added 100 pages, it's going to be quite a event. And hopefully people can see where the extra time and effort went. We certainly have not spared any expenses.
So between the Hobbit and the Silmarillion, and how hard is it to read?
Oh, it should be quite easy to read. It's maybe Lord of the Rings is probably like the closest. So it's in the between. It's because it's still essentially the same game. We've done a lot of work with our editors and proofreaders to try to make the rules as unambiguous as possible and as easy for new players to read as possible. Because one thing that's been very interesting in this, the number of people who've come to me and said, we've never played miniature war games before. French Crusade is our first game. And that's amazing to me because usually, obviously, you think that the people have played other miniature games already, mainly Warhammer. But I also think there are segments of now that the gaming's become more mainstream and popular, that for some reason, it's the existing war games haven't maybe not felt very welcome there. And we've worked hard trying to make clear that as long as you're good to other people, you're welcome to play French Crusade. Of course, that one condition is hard for some people, but it's more their problem and not ours. So it's brought a lot of people who never played miniature games before, and they've learned that they actually really like it. But you have to take into account that if you've been a war game for 20 years and you can pick up any rules like this, that's a big difference to somebody who has no concept how to play miniature games. So we put a lot of effort into making the language and the presentation and the examples and the diagrams to help and not frustrate the players, whatever new or old.
That sounds very exciting, because I think the rules as is now is also quite simple, but having pictures to help I think it will help a lot.
Oh yeah, you have to remember, it's you and me are both veteran gamers, but not everybody is like us, and it would be sad if we sort of made a game that is unwelcoming to new players.
Yeah, but after Ropicon, where I had a few demo games, it was clear to me that this is the simplest game to teach.
Yeah, I think it's the dice pool mechanic, because it reduces the math. You always are looking for just a couple of numbers, which are very easy to memorize.
Movement also.
It's because complexity is not same thing as depth. So we tried to build the depth into the fabric of the game rather than just adding an incredible number of rolls and tables.
Yeah, don't we know it? I'll get out of your hair.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to the episode.
Yeah, it will be good. And give me an answer about Hashut and give me the playtest rules for En Garde.
I will. As soon as they're ready for the big time, I will. Thank you.
Thank you.